Welcome to Sharpshooting with Sean Ellis, where the ball never stops bouncing, where we're talking hoops, hustle, and everything in between, looking at the game on the court as they just happened this past week. All right, with our first segment live at 7, we had three great games this week. Well, kind of good. We'll have three really good games and one so game. We had Flash B Unit 59, Free Agents 52 with the first game of the night. Kind of uneven game, kind of a sloppy game. Both these teams needed this one bad because it will have some playoff implications probably later on. Both these teams had similar records. I expect to have similar records, and this may be a tiebreaker game, which Flash B Unit now has. Flash B Unit did enough to win this game. Big performance from JD. I think he had 25 and 9. D Rod with 20 points, 8 rebounds. He said he's gonna always get 20 points. Well, that proves to be true at this current moment. A lot of back and forth trash talk. They both teams really got after it, but like I said, it was a sloppy game. Gray led his team, the free agent, with 22 points, but even crazier, that dude had 20 rebounds. It's definitely a career high for him, and definitely not something that was on my things that would happen this week list. So, but huge win for Flash B. Like I said, playoff implication. This does keep them on pace to be in the middle of the pack. Now, here's the game that was kind of not so good. Light work 89 to More and Friends 74. And let me take that back. This was a great game, actually, to start. It just didn't finish like I should, like I feel like it should. More Friends tends to do that. They don't put four quarters together. It's just very difficult. They had a very good start. I really jumped out on light work early, was beating light work early. Actually went to halftime tied, but they had as much as a 14-point lead on light work at one point during this game. And then, light work started pressuring the ball, picking them up 90 feet. Then we saw turnovers, bad shots, and then all of a sudden this went from being a very good game, very close game, very crucial game to being then running away with it and being a semi blowout. Very even scoring from light work. So Trey had 16, Trey Barber, Suge, Rashawn Coleman, 15 points. Mike for an additional 15 points. Kevo with 15 and 80 with 11. Can't get too much more even than that. All right. For More Friends, Cam was pretty consistent. He hit his 25. He's going to hit 25 every game. But he may have to do more than that for them to get their first win of the season. 25 points might not be enough. Uh, Darian, in his debut, hit 16, 5, and 5. But at the end of the day, can't finish games for four quarters. That's been More Friends' MO, and that seems to be their MO. No pun intended there. Cellulus 77, Hollywood 70. Well played game here. This went back and forth the whole time. I think Hollywood got to a really good start. These were two teams going in two different directions. Hollywood was pretty desperate. Not even gonna say desperate. They were coming off a loss in a game. I think they really felt really confident that they could come back and win. Sailors was actually having coming off a tough loss. Got a win, got a bye week, so this was their first game back after the bye week, and they look really good, especially in the second half of the game. They just had that foursome of Khalid, Eric, Bach, and then the finisher, Mitch. Uh, he ended up finishing with like 26 points. Khalid had 18. Josh had 8. I think it was had 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. They have a really, really good team. They really do. They really have a good team. And like I said, that foursome though, like I said, of Mitch, Bog, Eric, and Khalid, it's gonna be they're gonna be tough, man. They're gonna be tough to beat. And like I said, when you got my guy Mitch, money making Mitch, the closer, closing games out the way he is, they're gonna be tough for anybody. I would want to play them in the playoffs. I'm tell you right now, I would not want any parts of them in the playoff game. All right, and then the stunner, the biggest upset in probably about 3 seasons. Okay, the Crunch All Stars, 97 to 87. You are what you eat. And when you play with your food, what eventually happens is you become food. And this is what exactly happened in this case. Who's Your Daddy kind of let the Crunch All Stars hang around. And I said a couple things. If Who's Your Daddy play with their food, they could possibly beat. And I said if Crunch shoots the ball well, they'll have a chance. And they went 15 to 40 from three, 39 for 77 from the field altogether. Shot 38% from three, and they made 15 of them. And it all started with, and he's put himself in the MVP race now. Ariel. Ariel went out there and went off of 28, hit 7 threes, had 20 points in the second half, and in the fourth quarter, he couldn't miss. I think he might miss one shot in the fourth quarter. If he did that, it kind of reminds me of what Kawhi was doing in the All Star game this Sunday. But he willed them to that victory. He matched Marcus Hall and Ellis and the whole crew. He matched them. He did. He just matched them, and they can't be mad at anybody but themselves. Zach was the other guy I was thinking of for Who's Your Daddy. They can't be mad at anybody but themselves because they had opportunities to have a 4 or 5 point lead and maybe extend that to a 10 point lead, and they didn't. They kind of, like I said, they kind of played with their food, and then Crunch got hot. And like I say, Crunch plays the best brand of basketball probably in the league. Okay. So considering that they play the best brand of basketball, they're gonna get paint touches. They're gonna hit the nail. They're gonna, like I said, hit the baseline drift. Okay, they're gonna draw defenders. They make timely shots. They try to play defense. They're a little undersized, but they're scrappy. They do all of the things that you will want them to do if you're coaching the team. And they play a good basketball game. They put up 97 points and gave Who's Your Daddy their first loss of the season. Also, too, Crunch is now 2-0 against Who's Your Daddy. This is the only team that Who's Your Daddy has never beat. So if you want to take that for what you want, they're Eli Manning to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl right now. So that's what they are. But yeah, like the Crunch is now 2-0 against Who's Your Dad. They was the only team that beat them a couple seasons ago when Who's Your Dad actually won the championship, and they're the only team to beat them right now. So yeah, shout out to Crunch, man, making a difference. And hopefully this wakes up Who's Your Dad and let them know that it's not a one team race by any means. But Hall did have a good game. He had 25. Dylan had 21. Dylan Springs, he's really showed up the last couple games. Ellis had a 20 and 10 double double. Darnell had 11 points for Crunch. I mean, 11 rebounds for Crunch. John with a huge game as well, chipped in with 19 points. Steve's, you know what I'm saying, with Jordan, he had 13.7 assists. He's been a leader for that group, man. And those 7 assists, we know him as a sniper, as a shooter, but he had 7 assists this past game. But like I say, Ariel definitely has put himself in that MVP race with the biggest game of the season so far, especially for him. All right, last week's player of the week. Player of the week for last week, okay? That goes to Marcus Hall with his sensational game. Not this past week when they took the L, but the week before when they gave Hollywood their first loss. He had a 37.5 rebound game. He was sensational. So you guys voted, and y'all voted for Marcus Hall with the Player of the Week for Week 4. Our Week 5 nominees. Okay, so going into this week after a tremendous week, our Week 5 nominees, we have JD with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 and 1 assist. Sorry. Money Making Mitch, our the closer, 26 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Ariel Mauricio. Okay, like I said, putting himself in the MVP race, but definitely he'll probably be my pick for the MVP because the timely shots he was making, man, were huge, man. But Ariel with the 28.4 rebound, 4 assist game, and then Rashawn should for light work, 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. So guys, go out there, make sure you vote. We'll see who gets Player of the Week for Week 5. All right, my picks. I mean, some of you guys' favorite part of the show. Light work versus Hollywood. I'm going to light work 80 to 77. Maybe the most important game of the night, considering it's going to show who light work is. It's going to show who Hollywood is. Light work kind of has the same problem that Who's Your Daddy has, where they kind of play with their food and put 4 quarters together. And I think this is not a team they can do that against. Too much firepower for Hollywood. Got Scooter, who also probably is a MVP candidate, doing what he does. I don't expect Shaq to shoot badly as he did this past game. He went 5 for 19 this past game. I don't expect him to do that again. Devin Smith for Hollywood has been looking amazing. He had 22 points, I think 9 rebounds this past game. So again, if light work don't come with the big boy pants on, they will lose this game. But I'm gonna pick them for now because they are the hotter team and they're the only undefeated team right now. So I'm gonna go with 80 to 77 light work. Crunch All Stars versus the free agents. I'm gonna go Crunch here, 86 to 80. Now, if this was last week, the week before, I would have had this as a pick 'em game. But after that amazing performance by Crunch, and like I said, they've gotten better every single week. I'm gonna definitely go with Crunch here, 86 to 80. They're just playing a better brand of basketball right now. They've always played a good brand of basketball as is, and now they're kind of more so clicking on all cylinders. Hopefully, they don't peak too early though, because that's what had definitely happened to them last time they were in our league. They peaked way too early. All right, Phenoms versus Cellulus. Cellulus is coming. Um, I'm gonna go 89 to 84. These are both teams that are coming off wins after coming off bye weeks. And then Phenoms had, I mean, Cellulus had another impressive win last week against Hollywood, in a really really good game. So this is an opportunity for one of these teams to kind of separate themselves. And I think Phenoms could kind of, with the win, could really separate themselves from the middle of the pack. And Cellulus definitely will do that. And I think Cellulus also can maybe ascend more towards the elite with a nice win here. So this will be a very interesting game. But like I said, that big four of Mitch, Khaled, Bach, and Eric, it's gonna be strong. It's a strong four, especially with those pieces around them too. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real, real tough. Mo and Friends versus Who's Your Daddy in the last game of the night. I'm gonna go Who's Your Daddy 88 to 79. Now, hopefully this wakes up Who's Your Daddy and they don't play with their food like they've been doing. And they'll come out and they'll be ready to go. And let's not start writing narratives that Who's Your Dad's a certain type of team. We've kind of made them this elite team, but again, elite teams have to show up every week and play at an elite level. So, are they capable of doing it? Absolutely, I think they're capable of doing it. But now they just have to show it. You took an L last week. We'll see what type of team you are. Are you going to start ascending up, or are you going to start descending down? We'll see what happens going forward. Now, usually the show ends right there, but I'm going to give you guys some mid-season grades, kind of go full circle and tell you how things are going so far this season. So I'm going to team my team here. Who's your daddy? I'm going to give them a B minus. We know what they're capable of, but hopefully with that loss, they kind of get some of that playing and messing around out of the system. They'll be ready to go going forward. But they're going to get a B minus, just because of what the expectations of what they could be. I think they came in ranked two. Yeah, I won't say they were ranked two coming into the preseason rankings, and so they only got one loss. It's just one loss, but it was definitely a loss that I saw some patterns that I didn't like. So they're going to get a B minus. Mo and Friends, get them a D plus. Got to find a way to finish games. This has been their MO. Again, no pun intended. Since they've been in our league, got to find a way to finish games. Got to play off four quarter. They got to get more out of Winston and David. Those are two linchpins to everything that they do. And I think if those two guys play a lot better, it'll help them. Cam's playing well. The guards are playing really well. So yeah, if they get a little bit more out of those two staples of their team, then I think they'll be fine. Phenoms, I'm also getting them a D plus. The preseason top four pick. And so I think by them being a preseason top four, well, no, they weren't. They were ranked seven, I think. They were ranked seven, so they weren't a preseason top four pick. But they were a preseason top four pick for me. Let me say that. Kevin had them at seven, I believe. I had them as a top four pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them at no, Kevin actually had them last, if I'm not mistaken. I had them as a top four pick though. By my standards and what I think they can be, I'm gonna definitely give them a D plus. We'll see. It's a lot of season left, but they haven't lived up to what I think they could be. But Kevin looks like he was close to being right on that one, even though they're not last place right now. Cellulus, I'll give them a B. They're a potential contender. They still got a lot of work to do. They're not a finished product by any means, but they're. I'm gonna give them a B. They're a potential contender, and like I said, with a nice win this week, they could possibly start getting into that elite conversation. Crunch All Stars also, with this recent resurgence that they're having the last couple of weeks, I'm gonna give them a B, strong B. Uh, Put them right in the middle of the pack, and they're looking for more. So I expect them. They've been getting better, and so I see them ascending up. So if they get a nice win uh, this week, I can see them ascending up. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a B. They get a B for the start the season off. Free agents, I get them a C. Still finding their way considering all their circumstances. They had a couple of injuries, guys missing games. Um, but I feel like they have some talent on their team where they're a dark horse to maybe make a run. Cam's having a really good season. Greg's having for him, an efficient season for him. Obviously, though, they got a couple new guys on their team that's really been and to all the things that they do. So I'm gonna give them a C. They're a strong C. Light work, B plus. Give them a B plus. Not quite an A, but I'll give them a strong B plus. Still have yet to play a full quarter game. When I see them put a whole game together, and we go see this week. They got a really nice opponent this week. I'm giving them a B plus though. If they put a 4 quarter game together, they're scary. They're gonna be real, real scary. But are they capable of putting a 4 quarter game together though? I don't know. We'll see. Hollywood B plus as well. Consistent bottom feeder um, to being a possible waning contender. They've always been a 6, 7, 18, and they're on the verge of being a contender. Now they are in the meat of their schedule where they've been playing some really tough teams the last 3, 4 weeks. So this is when you kind of go really see, separate the man from the boys. So it's gonna be a big game for them this week as they play light work. But I give them a B plus. Flash B unit. They get C. They got 2 very ugly wins, but it has them right there in contention. They're right in the middle of the pack where I think they probably want to be at. So and they got a bye week this week. So some teams will lose and they'll just push them over the top because, like I said, they have a bye week this week. So I'm gonna give them a strong C with their 2 ugly wins, but again, they're wins that they may not have gotten in past seasons. Our mid-season MVP ranking. I got Marcus Hall right now with 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Scooter with 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Rashawn Coleman, or as we call him, Suge around these parts, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. And Ariel with 18.6, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists, man. Some nice candidates, man. Those are guys who kind of really been putting in the work. And some guys right now, I also know, like, man, these guys got better stats, but losing teams, man. And we don't reward you're losing. So you get a couple more wins under your belt. That definitely could change things for sure, for sure. But that is the end of our podcast for tonight. We're gonna have some great games that's coming up this week. Some very telling games. It's gonna separate the men from the boys. All right, live from an undisclosed area. We're out.